Hello everyone. Am I audible? Great. Good afternoon, guys. So we are here for a session about Python. So we'll have a small introduction about Python in today's session, and from tomorrow we'll start practicals. So let's start with an example. Uh, First, let me know that how many of you belong to IT background. मतलब कुछ भी, any of the background whichever you are working on. Let's say you are working in IT while developing or UI UX or any other. या फिर you have an experience in college or doing some practicals will also work. How many of you are from a background of IT? Okay, great. No, great. Okay, 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 okay. Nice. So यहाँ पे we do have both the categories, that is from IT and that is from non-IT. So in today's session, a lot of people maybe already knowing that things like why Python is required, why Python is important, where we are using it, everything. But we'll have to go through it so that others will also know. Okay. So yeah, few of them are already computer science student. That's great. Good. So it doesn't matter you belong to your computer science background with a computer science background or not, but we are here to actually uh, tell you the difference between those people, and there is no difference at all. By the end of the session, you will know it. Okay. So let's begin then. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just share my screen. Good. So you guys can see my screen now. Okay, great. So a lot of people might know that there are levels of programming. Okay, so there are total two levels of programming, which is actually high level and low level, right? So almost, let's say we are using high level programming language, low level we do not use. So we'll note it down each and every point so that you can refer it later. So let's say level of programming language is high level and low level. My handwriting is a little bit big, but let's adjust with it. Okay, so let's see. What do you guys think? What could be in low-level programming language? What do you guys think? So you can give me examples of programming languages which are used in low-level programming. You know any of the low-level programming language? Oh yeah, that's great. Binary, CPP, yeah, C binary 0.07. Okay. ML assembly. Oh, great. C, C++, machine language. So machine language is a technology in which programming language you are gonna use. Okay, what's low level language? We need to know that, right? HTML cannot be a programming language. It's just used for designing purpose. Okay, front end. Yeah, Java. Okay, good. So we all know that these are the low level programming language like C, C++. There are many other programming language. So we don't focus on it because it takes a lot of time and a lot of efforts as well. Okay, so what happens is if you are taking a low level programming language, so let's consider a script first. So let's take an example. ठीक है, क्या होता है? So here, if this is your script, yes, if this is your script and you are trying to execute this using low level programming language, so what will happen is it will send this file to the compiler, right? So what does it do? It will try to understand, it will try to break down the lines or statements from it, and then try to create an let's say executable file. Okay, so let's make it simple. So after compiling and checking all the statements or all the commands from the script, it will tell you whether it's correct, whether it is using the correct syntax or not, and if there are any errors, it will try to resolve it. It will try to resolve, not resolve it, but it will tell you to resolve it. Okay, the next, it will create an executable file, which is, let's say, like this way. Okay, so you can execute this file multiple times, as many times as you want. Okay, and there will be an output. Okay, You got it? So this is the stages of low level programming language. Whereas in high level programming language, what happens is you just pass a script. This is your script, and it will be send it to this compiler or interpreter, and you will get the results. This is how you will get the results. Okay, so you can see that there is a small thing, there is a small change over here, that you will no need to create AEXE. Yeah, there is a compiler, and as well as there is a interpreter stage between this. Okay, so these are the stages. So in low level, you will have to go through these stages and then you will get the output. Whereas in high level programming language, you just have to create a script, use it, and compile it, and you will get the results. It's that easy. Okay, so this is why we go for high level programming language. This is the one of the point which we have seen now. Now what we have to do is we have to understand, we have to break it down, that why we have to use Python, right? So let me just tell you, we'll create a question over here, that why Python. So there are multiple points, we'll have to note it down. Okay, you guys also can participate, tell us that what else we can add into it. Okay, so now just check it. So why we should go for Python? Okay, so let's take one thing, that let's go to the Chrome and let's ask him that why we need to go for Python. So I'll just share my other screen. Here it is. Okay, so first we'll check out that how popular your Python is. Okay, so for that we'll go for this one of the platform which provides you the let's say, which will tell you how important the Python is. Okay, let's go over here. So this is one of the platform which is known as dice.com. Okay, so here you can explore your careers as well. Okay, so first we'll check into this tech career. Isme jaake we'll go for career event, skill center, sorry. So here you can see it will ask you to enter a skill. Okay, so let's try to enter Python over here. So I do have a skill of Python. Okay, let's search it. So as soon as you search it, it will tell you that these are the scope. These are the various fields which we can go for. Okay, just a minute, I'll just expand it. Okay, here you can see. So if you know Python, and also if you know Flask, then you can go and see this fields. You can just join those fields, you can work on it. Okay, same applies with data science. If you know data science, then you can go for machine learning, AI, data mining, many more. Okay, if you go for machine learning, you will get the other fields. If you go for scikit learning, this is one of the package. This is machine learning. Then there is NLTK, data science, and there are many others. Same if you're going for Django, which is one of the web web development library. So you can see over here. So there is Flask, there are other platforms as well. So you can go to any of them. So this is how big Python is. Okay. So this is one of the, let's say, career path it is telling you about. But the most important thing, why we are learning Python, is because we are getting paid, right? We are getting paid in a huge amount, right? So let's try to do one thing. Let's see how much salary do we get if we choose Python. So there is a salary predictor karke inka khud ka, they have their own model. We'll just use it. Let's use software developer, and let's use California as a location. Go for years of experience. Let's assume that 1 year is enough for us. Now let's estimate it. Okay, usually kitna, how much you will get? Let's try to understand how much will you get if you're software developer. What do you think? You can guess it. What do you think, how much package should be given to the Python developer? Okay, 1000K. Good. So are you talking about India? But Aftab, Samir, dollars. Okay, great. So let's do it. You already know it. So let's go and click on here and then try to understand how much that person will get. So 1 year of experience will get $52,000 to $74,000. This is the real count. Okay, this is from California. Okay, it's not in India, the still. Okay, so this is, it is telling you that if you are having skill of Python, if you have a knowledge of Python, then you'll get this much package. That's what it is telling you. If there are other things, if you want to add into your skill set, you can add it. Okay, let's say you know now multi-threading. I'll just add it over here, so you can see that your 5% salary will be increased. Okay, here if you say this, I know some Linux kernel commands and all those things, so you can see your salary is getting increased. Good. If you want to add something like AWS, so you'll get one of this. I'll just use Elastic Brain. That is also one of the platforms. Okay, so it is not allowing you because I don't have any account on it. But still, we are getting an idea that how much should we how much should we be paid with this Python language. If you just Google it out, let's see. Here you go. So how much is it? Okay, hold on. I'll just remove the species. So it's check in India. Yeah, sure. So you can compare it with them and you can check it. So in India, we'll try to see that as well. Okay. So for India, we do have other platform. Okay. Yeah, it's a year. So this is the estimated cost. They are telling you that the minimum wage for the software developer will be this much. Okay. So this is the example. This is why we are focusing on Python. Okay. The other thing is, which we have used a lot of time, which is LinkedIn. Right. So let's go over here. If we go and search for, let's see, what we are trying to search, Python developer, right? Let's search it. So here you can see. So it is telling you how many results are there. It's in India itself. Huh? You were talking about India, right? So you can see how much results are there. It is 48 plus K. You can see these many jobs are there right now in India just by learning Python. Okay, you can also mention your experience. It will lower it down, but still you'll get the jobs. Okay, this is about India. So you can see this is the portal for let's see, for India, who will get the jobs. You can also see the let's see, salary over here. Some people will mention it over there, some people will not. So that's what happens over here. So yeah, let's go to the other platform. So you might already know this platform, you might have already seen it. So let's try to see it again. Okay, here we go. So we'll check over here also. So let's go and try searching Python. So Python programming language, make sure you are using that. Otherwise there will be a other, you know, that there's an animal, there's a reptile over there. So let's see. So India, it is telling you that it is in India from past 12 months. So what I'll do is I'll just go over here. I'll check the data from 2004. So it is increasing. It's increasing daily, on daily basis. It's increasing. See, you can see there was a time where it increased with a good peak over here in 2019. It reduced, but it still started again. See, so this is only in India. If you want to see worldwide, here you go. See, this is why we are using Python. So what we will do is I'll share my this screen again, and then we'll note it down so that you will have to mark. Okay, now you guys can see my screen. Good. So we'll note it down. The first point was that it has so much, so a big cost. We have a big package for it. Let's say big package, which we have seen on dice.com. Okay. Second one, LinkedIn. You can say multiple jobs and also trends. So these are the 2 points. Okay. So we have already discussed one of the point before. Just a quick reminder. What was that? Why is Python important? Remember, we have discussed that too. So at the beginning, we discussed about the labels, right? So Python belongs to which level? High level programming language. So that is the another reason. So high level programming language. Okay, this is the third reason. You can note it down, you can just view it. Okay, otherwise. So see, these are the three main important points. Okay, now there are many other things we'll explore. So let's note it other point. Let's say there are multiple domains, multiple platforms where we are using Python, right? So of course there will be some other dependencies, some other libraries which are used, right? So actually that could be said as it has number of libraries, let's say huge libraries. Okay, so we'll try to break it down in a short. Let's note it down. Okay, so let's try to understand what does the huge library means. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Okay, there is one question in big data. Python why learn? Okay, good question, Pooja. So this session is for MLOps. Okay, if you want to opt for machine learning, then you can attend. Otherwise, if you are interested, still you can attend and go through it. It's easy to learn. Okay, and I'll suggest you if you are getting a Python session, please attend because um, in future, maybe in your interview, even in big data, there is a chance that sometime they'll ask you the questions related to Python. There is that it is rarely, but still, right? You just it's easy to learn, and also it's good for you to understand Python, right? Okay, great. So there are huge libraries. So before understanding huge library, what does the huge library means? So let's understand first. That is, there are number of applications out there, right? You might have you're already using WhatsApp, Facebook, right? Library predefined functions. Okay, you can see that. You can see that, but they are actually scripts. You can see it's scripts. Okay, or you can also see they are like an applications softwares. Okay, so let's say in huge libraries, you can see there are a lot of applications out there. So for example, if you are into web development, let's assume you are into web development, so there are multiple libraries out there, so we'll count one of them. Actually there are a lot of there. So let's say if you are into web development, you can use Django. Okay, this is one of the let's say library. We can say it as web development. Okay, for web development you'll have to use Django. There is Flask, there are other libraries as well. Okay, now if you are into game development, let's say game, so I'll just say game development. So what could be this? What could be the library? The library for that is Pygame. Okay, for game development. Okay, so there are other libraries as well if you are into software development. So what could be used? So I'll tell you, there is tkinter, kiwi, pyqt, and there are many more. Software development. Okay, if you are into data science, right? If you're into data science, there are other libraries, but we'll take one of them, that is TensorFlow. So maybe a few of them have already been gone through the TensorFlow, because in almost every let's say AI machine learning projects, TensorFlow will be there. Okay. Okay. Data science. So there are other libraries also for data science, that is Keras, there is Scikit, there are many more. Okay, so this is one of the library. So this is the fourth reason why Python is important. Okay, now what do you guys think? Why are we choosing Python only? Okay, so I'll tell you. There is one reason for it. As we have already discussed about the flow of, or let's say flow of executing your project or your script. So it is totally based on, let's say, compiler script, and then it will get you the results, right? That is the other reason. So let's say interpreter based. Okay, now the other thing is, we'll understand that who handles or who maintains this Python, right? There will be some other person who is actually handling this, right? So Someone is owning it. What do you guys think? Like Google has been owned by some other person, right? Or Facebook. So who does owns them? Okay, there is a question. If I am not programming background, it's easy to learn or difficult? See, if you learn, it's easy. Nothing is difficult. If you learn, it's easy. There is no doubt in it, right? Good. So we were at this point. So let's understand who is maintaining it, who is handling it, who is the person who is actually in charge of Python. So we already know it. So we call it as community. We know it, right? Can we get a recording of that session in Google Classroom? Yeah, sure, Vikas. Definitely you'll get it. Don't worry. So community. So what do you think? What is community? How many of people know that what community is? Anybody knows? How many? Okay. Contributed. The Praveen is asking how many sessions. Don't worry, bro. We have just started. We'll tell you. Contributors. Yeah, you can say contributors. You can say who are actually participating, who are actually updating, who are maintaining everything. Right? Group of developers. Very nice. Great. So they help with their knowledge. Very good. Great. Nice. Good. So one of the reason is it is handled or maintained by community. If there are any update, let's say I have a library. Let's say I am using a Django library and there is something wrong into it. We are using the latest version and something has happened. So what happens is we just have to raise a ticket, okay, for that particular library, and a lot of people will contribute into it and then tell you that what would be the solution, how can we improvise it. There are other ways, okay. So people who are already working in company, they might be already aware of that. If something is wrong, we just have to raise a ticket. There will be some branches, there will be some repos, we'll have to go merge it and then we'll resolve it. There are many other things, many other stages, okay. Still, okay, most important point over here now. What do you think? Why is Python important? And do you think is there any charges? Anyone using Python? It's open source, correct. It is open source. That's the most important point. It is open source. That is why you can use it anytime, anywhere. It's up to you in any platform. Okay, that is free of cost. So now you guys know it's open source. So what do you know? Sorry, okay, Omkar has already told that. I was gonna ask, what do you mean by open source actually? So you guys know it's free of cost, no paisa. Okay, anyone can use it. Okay, okay. Most important thing is, what do you guys think if I developed a code on my operating system, which is Linux, Ubuntu? So can I run the same project or same code on Windows? Is it possible, or Mac? Is it possible? Yes. Great. So what do we call it? What do we call it? There is a word. There is a proper word. Platform independent. Very good. Very nice. So that's what it means. So you can create your own code at any operating system and you can use it in on any other platform. It's up to you. Okay, good. So these are the points which you can see, which is telling you about that why Python is important. But why Python is important with machine learning? You know what? Why Python is important with machine learning? Okay, let's scroll it down. Easier to learn. Okay, there are other platform, other programming language also for machine learning. There is R, Python. There are actually a lot of them. I'll just note it down. This two. Okay, so I've worked with this too, so that's why. And also they are very famous. All famous people, or let's say who are leaders in the market, are actually preferring this languages. Okay, so let's assume there is a Python language in the market, so how much it would be used. So I'll just create a graph over here. So let's say almost 60% of it is in Python programming, whereas in 30% would be this one, R language, and this would be C something, C++, because they are still used. C, there's Java also. This would be some 20%, and others will be 10%. Okay, this is how you can see. This is how you can understand that why Python is important. Okay, almost in every application there will be Python script or Python commands, Python syntax. That is the reason. Okay, great. So we'll just start understanding why we are using Python in machine learning as well. Okay, so there are two ways to execute your script. Okay, so let's scroll up, and let's say we have already seen this, but still there is interpreter based scripting language, which is Python, right? So how do we execute it? So we have already seen, I'll just draw it again. So there is a code, we pass it to interpreter, and then we get results. Okay, now how does the compiler works? The same way. There will be some few stages in it. Compiler based code, compiler, and then there will be executor and results. Okay, yeah, there is one stage. You can call it as interpreter, or let's say interpreter or object code. Okay, you can say it. So these are the stages. Okay, now let's understand what is actually interpreter based. Okay, what do you mean by interpreter based? So all of you are using some other operating system, Windows ho ya fir Ubuntu ho. So you call that black screen as terminal or command prompt, right? So what does the interpreter means? So there are actually, in interpreter it will directly execute your code with the interpreter and it will give you results. So these are the ways for executing your code. So there are two ways to execute your code. That would be interactive, and last one is script based. Okay, there is a question. Check code line by line, compiler at once, hold code, interpreter line by line. Okay, what do you mean by interpreter? So interpreter will do one thing, that is, it will try to understand your language. Okay, what I'll do is I'll give an example. Let's say we have, let's say Ajit Khilari, right? So Ajit and me, we both are visiting to Bangalore. Okay, now we have gone to Bangalore. Now I know only Hindi, and Ajit know the native language of Bangalore, whatever it's Tamil, Telugu, something, right? So my car is now punctured. I need to change it. What can we do? There is a mechanic over there. I'm telling you that I have a stepney, I have everything in my car. You just open it, repair it. Okay. I'm telling him in Hindi. Will he understand? Why do you need? Okay, I'll answer it, just a minute. No, right? No, right? See, there is no one. There is no way that I can tell him, I'll explain him that you'll have to pick it in Hindi and you'll have to install my tire in this way, but it's not possible because he's not able to understand. I'm telling one thing, he's understanding some other thing. I'm asking him to bring out the tire, he's bringing something else. It's really chaos, right? So I have an interpreter, my friend. Okay, so what Ajit will do is, I'll tell Ajit what to be asked for, that asked to be done for this repairing thing, and he'll do my job. Okay, that's how interpreter works. Okay, where is what is the question? What do you mean by interpreter? I have told you now. Okay, got it, Ajit. I assume you understood now. So Anaconda versus TensorFlow. So Anaconda is a package of Python and other libraries related to Python, and TensorFlow is also one of the library. Okay. So TensorFlow is used for machine learning. Anaconda is a package for machine learning. Rahul. Okay. Interpreter executive code line by line, low level to high. Uday, right? Interpreter executive code line by line, low level. I didn't get you. Please pardon your question. Are you able to get it? Interpreter executive code line by line. Okay. You mean to say is it executing your code line by line? Yeah, of course. That's how it works. It will execute your code line by line. It will check whether your syntax is correct or not. If it is not, it will tell you where the error is getting called, and then it will ask you to resolve it. Okay. Convert human readable language into machine readable language. Yeah, that's right. So one way you can say that too. Okay, great. So we were up to this point where what is interactive scripting, what interactive coding and script-based coding. Okay, what does that mean? So what do you think? What is interactive? So right now it's interactive, right? I'm asking something. You guys are giving me a reply. It's interactive, correct? Right? So what is script based? Script based means I'll pass on my questions at the same time, and you guys have to give me the answers, just like our test, our POLs. We pass on you POL, you give them answers and submit it. That is script based kind of thing. You just assume it. Huh? Don't take it seriously. I'm telling you examples. Okay, over here there are two ways to execute your code. That is interactive and script based. So interactive means, that's what I was telling you before. If you are using Windows, that is command prompt, and if you are using Ubuntu, Linux, जो भी है, or Mac, you'll get terminal, right? Correct, CLI. So you can see it. So this way you can actually see whenever we are hitting enter, whenever we are trying to go to the command prompt and type Python over there, you will see that there it is opening a portal for you for Python environment. Okay, you will get a base over there. It's telling you that this Python has been started. Now you can start working with it. And now then you'll start typing your commands line by line, and you'll read it line by line and then tell you how to execute it. Okay, that's what interactive means. You'll have to keep on talking with that command prompt or Linux terminal, and then it will start giving you the results. Okay, that's what interactive means. Whereas script based, what happens in script based is you will write a script. Just we have saw over here that this is a script. It will go to the interpreter will go line by line. Of course, it will go line by line. If there are any errors, it will tell you, otherwise it will run it, it will execute and give you the results, the output. That's it. That's what script based means. Okay, easy to understand. Okay, in Python we can do both, interactive as well, script based. So in next session, in tomorrow's session, we'll see what is the difference between that with command prompt, with script based, everything. We'll use different kind of editing tools also. So you'll get an idea, you'll get a clearance of it, that how we can use programming language, right? Okay, good. Now, what do you think? Now we have understood why we have to use Python. Up till now we have understood why we have to use Python. Now main important thing is, tell me why what is actually programming language. So everybody know that what programming language is. Some of you are already from computer science background, right? Or computer background, IT background, jo bhi hai. So you can tell me what the programming language is, right? So what is a programming language? So this is not the second point, actually this was the second point over here. So in terminal, this is interactive one, and script based, I'll create it over here. Script based mein kya karte hai? We just have to use a file, and you have to save your file with extension known as .py, Python. ठीक है, इसको We were at this point now. We were checking about what is programming language. So let's note it down. That will be better. So let's understand what is programming language. Good. So how many people can tell me what is programming language? What do you guys think? What is programming language? Okay, tell me what is language. Forget about programming language. Tell me about what is language. Why do we use language? Anyone? To communicate. Very good. Very good. To communicate, obviously. Language has been used to communicate, right? There are two people communicating, that means that is a language. Right? Sign language is also one of the language, right? So what do we call it? What do we see it? So we give a name to it, right? So we can name it as natural language. Right? Natural language. Correct? We talk in Hindi, Marathi, Urdu, Malayalam, जितने भी language है, it is a natural language. We try to express ourselves by using that language. So what does it mean? Okay, what is it called? It is called natural language. Correct. The other one is formal language. So how many of you know what is formal language? What does it mean, formal language? Anyone? Okay, to communicate with machine. Okay. What else? What else we can see? Set of instruction that gives some output. Very good. Set of instruction. Nice, nice. Good. Language understand by computer is programming language. Oh, Google. Good, good. To communicate with machine, we need programming language. Okay. So any programming language will work, na? Even if it is not Python, other programming will also will work, na, on it. Will it work or not? Yes, na? Yeah, it will work. It's not even a question. Yeah. YAML JSON, I think. Instructions of computer. Okay, you can send to everyone because everyone will see your questions as well. Okay, this is for everyone. Okay, so we were over here at this point. This is natural language and this is formal language. Okay, now in formal language, which we have seen that it is programming, now we know that it is a programming. So what are the things that is included in this programming stage? Okay, so let's say there is a code. Okay, there is some set of instruction. That is what we were saying, right? What is programming? This is a programming language with some set of instructions, and there will be obviously some maths into it. There will be some logic into it, right? And also there will be some conditions. You will have to apply some conditions so that you'll get the results, and finally you'll get the output. Okay, these are the stages which are telling you what programming is actually. Okay, there will be a code, there will be some set of instructions, obviously some logic into it, maths, there will be conditions, and then you can get your results. Correct. This is what the programming language is. Okay, now so most of you are already belonging to the IT background, so you can tell what actually there are how many types of errors. Right, of course there are a lot of errors. We are coding, so there will be you'll have to face errors as well. Okay, Snail saying 3 runtime. Okay, okay, good. Syntax, compiler, nice. So you already know, few of you already know. That's great. So types of error. So the first one is let me just check. Someone has gone. Yeah. Okay. Good. Almost every error has been mentioned over there. Exception is something else. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, key error, index error, value error, runtime error, syntax error. Nice. Syntax, runtime, compiler. Okay, compiler is, I guess. Okay, no problem. We have discussed. No, compiler is actually not in Python. It's low-level thing, low-level languages. Language exception, logical error. Okay, I have also learned few new errors today. What is negligent error, yeah? Pradeep. Okay. In Python, we are talking about Python. Huh? Okay. Great, good. I'll tell you. First one, you can make it simple, that is syntax error. If you are trying to do your script, if you're trying to code your project, then you have to follow some syntax, right? For example, let's say I have a project, I have a code in which it is asking for water. Okay, it is asking for water bottles, whether how much water bottles you want. Okay, so so it's telling me that I want to ask for bottles. I'll create a code in a way that it will ask me a number of bottles, how much I need. So if I type that I want two, so it will give me result that two bottles have been dispatched. Okay, this is how it should work. Now in syntax, what happens is, if I'm trying to say that I need two bottles, I'll just do one thing, that is two bottles over here, and then I have designed a code, and then I am asking to enter, and then asking that person to enter that two bottles. Okay, now I've entered two bottles, I need two bottles, and it is saying that it has been dispatched and it will be delivered to me, okay, at my address. So in this process, if something is wrong with the syntax, that means if he's that person is accepting my two bottles but not dispatching it, there should be a process, it is not connected, right? So what is happening over here, that if my bottles are getting accepted, it should return me something, right? It should return me something, and it's not returning. That is what it is telling you, that syntax error, right? So let's say even if it is accepting two bottles, and there is some errors with returning. So if it is saying that return the bottles, okay, so let's say I have stored into it, but while writing a function, I've written in the same line, there is no space, nothing. So there should be a proper syntax. Well, while you write a function, there should be a tab in this, there should be a space, and then it should start at this point. Okay. If I'm typing here that I'm returning this by entering this command over here, that means it is a syntax error. Okay, don't worry, we'll see it practically tomorrow. For today, we just have to assume it. Okay, great. So there was one more. There was runtime error. What was it? Runtime error. So we'll take the same example. Now I am telling that person, telling that code or application or project that I want two bottles. Now once he accepts, okay, now once he accepts, he dispatched me and it is giving me successful result. Even it is mean dispatching me that two bottles. I have received that two bottles now. Received. Okay, this is first time. Now next time, what I want, I am requesting for three bottles now. Okay, but while entering three, I am not entering in this way, I am entering this way, three. So what will happen? The program will not be able to understand what we have typed over there. Okay, because it has been programmed in a way that only integers, or let's say only natural numbers, should be accepted. 1, 2, 3, whatever you want, the number of bottles. Now over here I'm typing that in an alphabetical way. That means program will not understand, and it will give me runtime error. It will say it's not there. Strings, they can only take the integer values, it cannot process string values. It will give you the error over there. Okay, this is what runtime error is. Now what was the last one? That was semantic error. Okay, so a lot of you have already told. So this is the last error. So what does the semantic error means? I'll tell you. So we'll take another example. Let's see over here. I'm asking that person. I have created a calculator which does one thing, that is, if I say 1 plus 1, it gives me result. Oh, there it is. It is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. A simple calculation. My calculator is giving me successful result. But over here, if I say 1 plus 1, and instead of giving me 1, if it is giving me 0, what's happening over here? So it's giving me something wrong, which is not expected. So what happened is, while coding, maybe by mistake, I have put minus instead of plus. So that's semantic error. Okay, that belongs to semantic error, that you in a code we are expecting a result in a way that it should be the expected result, but it doesn't, just because we have not created our logic properly. Okay, that's what the types of error are. So you have understood these are the types of error. Only three errors. How many? Syntax, runtime, semantic. No new errors. Don't bring up with your any other new errors. There are no new errors over here. Only three errors. Okay. Now, once you know these are the three types of error, okay. So if you want to resolve it, or I'll just ask you one question. What do you call actually? We call error also. There is another word. Do you guys know? What do you call it? For error, there is another alternate. Yeah, bugs. Correct. So there is, we call it as bugs, right? So these errors are nothing but they are bugs. Okay. So process of resolving errors is known as debugging. Okay. Okay. So if there are some, if there is error into this, how will you resolve it? How will you, let's say you are facing with semantic error. So how will you resolve it? You'll have to go through the code, understand where your logic has been wrong, and then you'll have to make it correct. This is the process. Okay. Debugging means it will just ask you, it will ask you to resolve that error at particular position, at particular line. That's all. Okay. That's the process of debugging. Okay. Good. That's it. So that is why Python is important, and why Python is important with machine learning. Okay. So you can see these are the steps which we have already seen through it, which we have already gone through it. Now, if you guys have any other questions, you can ask me. Please repeat syntax error. So let's do one thing. We'll take a simple example. Let's say syntax error. So we'll take the same example over here in semantic. Let's say 1 plus 1. What is it? 2, right? Correct. This is the calculator, how it is giving me result. But now what I do is, in my code, while adding this numbers, I'm typing here 1, and then I'm saying 1, instead of saying 1 plus, I'm saying something else which is not the correct thing. Okay. So I'm saying 1a1 equals to 2. What is that? It's semantic error. Now what if I do is 1a1 and equals to is given over here, I'm typing 2 at the next line. So is it the correct syntax? See, I'm typing the value on new line. So is it the correct syntax? It's not. It's not. That's what the syntax error is. Okay. You got it? Or should I give you another example? Let's say you'll take the real example if you want. Let's say this is the command print. This is the command. Let's say hello. Okay, hello person. Okay, this is my command. When I use this command, it will give me this message. Okay, but while typing this command, I have missed this. Let's say this one. Okay, I've missed this one bracket. So what it will do is, it will point me the line number, whatever the line number is, and it will point me the position as well, and tell me that there is a syntax error over here. And it will, sometimes it will even suggest you that there is a bracket missing. Okay, this is how the syntax error is. Okay, Yogesh, you got it, na? Yeah, great. What is machine learning? Okay, so machine learning is very simple to explain you actually. The process which you do on daily basis. Okay, you can automate it, or you can say you can train your machine to do your job. That's what machine learning is. Okay. Python versus MicroPython, why is preferable for machine learning? Rahul is asking Python versus MicroPython. So you know the difference between it. So that's very good. So see, MicroPython has been used in lower scale. Okay, whereas Python is, there is no limit for Python. If you see in Python second version 2.7 or the previous versions, there were some limited scales. If you put a range for integer value, it will give you some range. There is a limited range. Otherwise, in Python 3, there is no range. It's unlimited. So which one is preferable? You can go for anyone, but machine learning should be able to handle Python, that the other version, which is MicroPython. Okay. Then of course you can handle it. There's no problem. There are low, let's say, light versions of machine learning packages as well. Does Python is similar to Linux? No. Linux is the operating system. Python is programming language. Okay. Good. Brackets are optional in Python. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Brackets are optional in Python. But if you put one bracket at single side, you have to put the other side as well, right? That's what pairing is. Jabin, yes, the person. Is Python pure coding? Yeah, it's high-level programming language. Okay, how does Python helps in learning machine learning? So Python is helping you to code. Okay, Python is helping you to develop your program for your machine learning. Okay, Shraddha. Python is programming language like as C++. You can say C++ is low level programming language, whereas Python is high level programming language. For example, in C++, if you want to, let's say, write a code in a way that you have to open a webcam, record it, and save it, same can be, and if it is taking, let's say, 2000 lines of code, in Python it could be done in, let's say, 20 lines. Okay, so it's very easy and easy to understand as well. What is the difference between ML and AI? Okay, so machine learning is a part where you have to train your machine, you have to teach your machine how to learn from the data. Okay, whereas AI is already, we have to just provide them the let's see, algorithm, and it will start training by itself. It will start learning by experience. Okay, good. Yeah, that's all. That's also one of the thing that we are only learning just enough Python referred by Cloudera. We are not going into depth because we don't need it. So that's why. Do we need programming experience to understand Python? No, no, don't need to. We are training from the beginning. This is from scratch. So don't worry, Raja. Okay. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll start our practicals. We will see tomorrow how to install Python. We'll have to understand how to create our environment for Python, and then we'll start the sessions soon enough then. Okay. Okay. What is PyTorch? So Tushar, that is used for training. This is one of the library like TensorFlow, Keras. Okay. If you know already this PyTorch, what does the PyTorch means? You'll know the other libraries as well. Which software are we going to use for Python? Okay, so for Python we are going to use Anaconda package, and you can use any editors, but for the beginning we'll use Jupyter Notebook. And yeah, that's it. Can I use PyCharm? Yeah, of course you can use PyCharm, VS Code, Atom, Sublime, anything, but for our session please use Jupyter Notebook so that you can be with us, because we are following the same thing. And code is a script, just a script, so you can understand that whatever you run on Jupyter Notebook will be, of course, will be executed on PyCharm as well. PyCharm is just an editor, so don't worry. Okay, then thank you guys. Okay, hold on. Okay, hi guys. You guys can take a 10 minutes break, and those who are from Feb batch, you can leave the session. Other people can just take 10 minutes break. We'll join again. We'll start again. Okay, chalo then. Have a good day. Bye bye.